It's me again, hey, Crystal. I want to welcome to all of you to my second YouTube video. This time I'm going to be talking about something a little bit different that some people don't know about me and my sister.
A lot of people don't know you and Val's story
You're right.
and that you wound up in foster care.
Yes, that is true.
Let's talk about when you were born.
Okay.
What was going on with your biological parent when you were born?
Well, I had a biological mom
Mm-hmm.
that wound up smoking, doing crack.
Doing crack?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doing cocaine.
Cocaine, okay.
And she just kind of
She had a lot of problems.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
And so as a result, she was doing these things when she was carrying you
That's correct.
in her stomach when she was pregnant.
You're right.
And also too, I understand that there was no medical care for you at all until she went to the hospital to have you.
Correct. You're
Okay.
right.
And then after she had you, you had a lot of problems that came from the drugs and stuff that she took.
Right.
Can you tell us what some of the problems that you had?
Okay, I will be more than glad to. I had a trach
Okay, so you had a trach in your neck,
right here. Yes, ma'am.
and that was because you had trouble swallowing and breathing. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay.
I also had a G tube right on the side of me.
Okay, so that was a stomach button where you had to get liquid tube feedings
Correct.
because you could not suckle as a baby and you couldn't breathe and
No.
had a lot of complications.
I also I couldn't walk all that well. I had surgery on my side of my head. I still got my shunt.
So also too, you had to have the shunt because you were having seizures. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
You're right.
Okay. And you and Valencia had pretty much the same stuff that was going on. Her parent as well. Her biological mom also went through pretty much the same thing.
Well, this is so many things that I can share with everybody. One of the things I can remember when me and Val were together, one of the things I can remember was me and her used to have PE, physical therapy.
Oh yeah, physical therapy.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I understand too that because of a lot of the complications and stuff. Because now to take care of your trach, that had to be suctioned,
You got
right?
it. You got it.
And that trach also had to be changed
Mm-hmm.
regularly.
Mm-hmm.
And your mid-key button for your stomach, that was a very sensitive thing because that had to be changed every once in a while too, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But that was the way that you had to eat. So you
Yeah.
got water through there, and you got your medicine through there, and you got your formula
Yeah.
through there.
Correct.
Now I know too that you said you had problems walking.
Right.
I believe that you were in a wheelchair until you were about 4 years old. Is that right?
You are correct. Yeah.
And of course, you couldn't be in a regular classroom
No.
because you had so many medical issues,
Right.
you know. And I know at one point they didn't even think that you were going to be able to eat solid food or even drink liquid.
You're right. When I went to the doctors, when me and my sister went to the doctors, we had to get a test done. They wanted to see if we could eat and drink something, like be juice or maybe something like applesauce or something like that.
So you had those complications. You had complications walking.
Yep.
Okay. I didn't know you all then, but I know it was rough going because you guys were on a lot of meds and had a lot of medical equipment when I was learning how to take care of you. So now you and Valencia both were walking didn't start walking until the age of 4.
Correct.
You both had trachs in your neck.
Anyway.
You both had stomach buttons in your stomach and had tube feedings.
Okay.
You were both delayed in learning and in walking. In some cases, I know Valencia had brittle bones,
Right.
and so she had some difficult times as well. From the time you were born, you had to spend time in the hospital.
That's correct. Right.
You had to have these surgeries and everything so that you could survive. And what they called that was failure to thrive.
Right. Yeah.
And that's a rough thing on a lot of infants who were born to parents who had drug addictions and things.
Yep.
So let's move on a little bit further now.
Okay.
You know, they got you guys stable.
Correct.
And you know, they were working with your delays that you had, and you were going to school at Voorhees. What, didn't they have a school right there in the rehabilitation center?
It wasn't very far at all. We
Okay.
didn't even have to walk that far. It was
Okay.
right in there. We had a lot of fun.
Okay. So that was good. But that meant, though, that you didn't get a chance really then to get outside a whole
No.
lot and you know, do a whole lot of things because,
No.
you know, you were so medically fragile.
No, you're right. You're right. You know, just how to wash myself. Sometimes I couldn't get to my back fast enough. And I have to be called on the staff to help me out. I could get to the other part, but my back, I just couldn't get to that. Try to put my bra on, which that wasn't that easy.
Okay, so learning how to get dressed,
Exactly.
learning how to brush your teeth properly,
Correct.
and do proper hygiene,
There you
and
go. You
put
got
on
it.
all your smell good stuff.
You got it.
Yeah, and I also noticed too that you have the braces that you wear on your legs. And I understand too that you even had a few celebrity moments while you were at Voorhees, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, I don't even know where to start. But I can tell you that one of the baseball mascots came by.
One of the baseball mascots?
Yes, ma'am.
For what team was it?
The Phillies?
Okay, the Philadelphia Phillies. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, weren't you in a newspaper quite a few years ago? Now,
Yes.
this before you came to me though, and I believe that there was an article in the newspaper about you. Was it a fireman or something?
You're right.
Tell me about that.
I was in the article for, we were having a little, usually a National Fire Safety Week
Okay.
for the kids
Okay.
and for us.
Okay.
Because usually you have to learn how to be safe in a fire.
Okay.
So, me and a group of my friends, we went outside to learn about fire safety. And not only did we practice on the fire drills and got out safely, but we also got the chance to meet some very cool firemen as well.
Oh, that's great.
And
That's
a fire
great.
dog as well.
That's great. That's great. Wasn't Val on TV one time with one of the football players?
Yes, ma'am.
Which one was it?
I think it was. I'm trying to remember who it was. Somebody from the Philadelphia Eagles, I believe.
Was it Vasikahema?
Yeah, it was like the Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're right.
So that was great. So you guys got a chance to do that. So as you got older, you did get out a little bit, but
Yeah,
I understand too that I know for a while you were afraid to go outside.
yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, you know how sometimes you're afraid to get outside, do what you want to do with your friends, and you just feel like you get left out.
Yeah.
Well, that's how me and Val felt. I felt like we got left out. All the fun. Everybody got the chance to have pet therapy and have group and everything. We feel like we just felt like we were in a prison.
So now a few years has gone by, and you guys have gone to therapy, and
Mm-hmm.
you guys are moving along and growing up and getting a little bit bigger.
Right.
So then, what happened when it was time for foster care?
When it was time for foster care, I was I was thinking, are we really gonna be able to leave this time? Because me and my sister do not want to be in that place anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We just got tired of it. We wanted to have fun. We don't want to have to invest.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I kept thinking. We need somebody that can love us, somebody that can take care of us, somebody that can just tell us what to do and not to do. And that's when foster care came along.
Okay, so you were about what, 9, 10 years old?
You got it.
You told me about just you, but
You're
the
one of
day
them.
that I was coming to meet you, I got a call and they said, Crystal has had a roommate with her since she was like 3 or 4 years old, and they've been together ever since, and they're just like sisters. And the best thing to do would to be able to place both of them.
When me and Val came to see you guys, I stepped in the house and I looked around and I was like, is this really going to be my place? And you had to say yes. This is it. You don't have to be in that place anymore. That's the place that you were talking about earlier. You don't have to be in there. You
Hmm.
can be with us. So that's what I said. Okay, yippee!
It's some of the things that you wanted to do once you got out of Voorhees,
Right.
kind of leaving that life behind.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember we had a conversation about you wanting to eat and drink.
Yes.
Because at that time, you hadn't had any food in your mouth and no
No.
liquid in your mouth. It was all
No.
going right in your stomach.
You got it.
So let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, when I saw you guys, I just couldn't eat anything. All I can do was just have the deep tube and the trach in my neck, and it was just too painful. And all I wanted to do was be free and eat and drink.
And do what everybody else did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So eventually, we had a couple of tests done, and then we prayed about it.
Yes.
And then we decided that we were going to let God do this thing.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time when we went back to Voorhees for one of the family picnics and you guys could eat? Could you remember that? Do you remember that day?
Yeah.
How was that?
Oh, it felt wonderful.
Everybody was so excited, weren't they?
Yeah, they were just happy and celebrating and jump up and down. I was like, okay, I can eat, I can drink. I don't have to worry about that silly deep tube anymore, or that silly cake no more, or none of those formulas either.
Well, that's great.
I
That's
know.
great. That's great. And so just giving everybody a little bit of your story. That's why Val's Heart is so important, because there may be a lot of kids out there that were born to drug addicted parents and they had developmental delays, or they were born with cerebral palsy or
Yeah.
hepatitis, or they were born HIV or
Yeah,
AIDS,
you're right.
or something that prevents them from leading a normal life.
Yes.
And we want to be able to help those families and support those families, whether they're foster children who were adopted, or everybody that was born medically fragile did not have a drug addicted parent.
Yeah,
But
true.
either way, we still want to be able to help them, because we understand what it means to kind of have to go through a lot as a young child and to try to overcome these things.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to be doing with Val's Heart. We want to just continue to let you share your story and how God was able to perform miracles. Tell us a little bit about being called to be a minister.
Well, being called to a minister is fantastic. It feels like you just like you got your paycheck. It feels like you just got your first paycheck. When you first get your first paycheck, you feel happy. And that's how I felt. That's how me and my sister felt. We felt happy.
Well, you guys were miracles.
Yes, we were very honored to be ministers.
Yeah, and I know that God is going to use you in a mighty way.
Indeed. Guys, I will want you all to please help us out. All of us. Supporting my sister's #1 fundraiser, Val's Heart. I will see you all on the 3rd episode of my YouTube video. Until then, God bless, and I love you all.